Welcome back into 643 on your Friday morning. Many of us have had a white-knuckle drive into work at some point. So if you get into a wreck when your boss makes you come into the office, can you then come back against your employer for damages? We're exploring some winter weather work woes this morning. Attorney Dave Betras is here for Legally Speaking. Good to see you, my friend.
That's good alliteration.
I try my best.
Winter woes work weather.
Winter weather work woes.
Wow, that's good.
Well, let's start with that work commute. I mean, nobody likes to drive in bad weather. If
Right.
you have to come into the office, is the commute a protected thing when it comes to an employer?
No.
Okay.
So the law in Ohio for jobs is, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You could be fired for a good reason, a bad reason, or no reason whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you have some kind of a collective bargaining agreement or some kind of a contract, you could be fired for any reason, and you not coming into work because the snow is bad, you could technically be fired. You know, when I was thinking of this topic, I remember when I was a kid, and you know, you'd see snow, you go, "Oh, please snow, so school's canceled."
My kids are in that mode right now.
And now I'm like, "Ugh, don't snow on Sunday. I got to go. I had so much stuff to do on Monday.
Exactly.
So I have to bring it home. You know, it's just not. You know, it's funny how that changes.
It is. There is definitely a shift. So what about somebody who drives for a living? There's a lot of truck drivers. There are delivery drivers, various different couriers and everything. Somebody who drives for a living, if they get in a wreck, is that workers' comp then?
If you are working at the time you get injured, regardless of fault, that is a workers' comp claim.
Okay.
You might have a separate car accident claim. So there's a lot of people we represent who are at work, someone smashes into them, they have a workers' comp claim and a personal injury claim. So don't worry, the state of Ohio gets their money back first before anyone. But that could lead to two causes of actions. What people have to be cognizant of too is that the law wants you to be in control of your car at all times. What does that mean? People say, well, you know, it was slippery. Well, don't drive so fast. You know, if you got to maintain control of your car. There's no such thing as, well, I hit a patch of ice. Well, you should have hit a patch of ice when you could have kept control of your car. So people need to be cognizant of that when they're out there driving, which means slow down, drive slower. You know, when you're going slow, you can control. When you're not going slow, in inclement weather, you can lose control of your car, and that can have a deleterious effect on your life, your health, your car, and someone else possibly.
Exactly. So are there any like outlying weird circumstances? I mean, I'm thinking like travel bans. Like if there's a travel ban in place, can you still, if you can't get to work physically, if you don't feel like it's safe, is there any recourse that you have?
Well, if they have a travel ban,
yeah.
Okay. Remember, you could be fired because you're wearing a yellow tie today.
I like the yellow tie.
I do too, but I'm just saying.
Don't fire me.
But if there's a travel ban, you shouldn't be on there. Like if they say do not drive, it is very dangerous. Then you want to call your employer and see what's going on. Are we opening today? What's happening? A lot of jobs now are remote. They rarely shut down the courthouse, so. You know, tough cookies for me.
Exactly.
Okay. And if any county commissioners are watching, you know, Monday's going to be bad, guys. So might be a good day to not make us go to court. But
trying to put in a good word right now.
Well, the county commissioners control the courthouse, so they can control whether the courthouse is open or not. Like when it was really, really cold, I had a jury out, right? On Tuesday, and it was near zero. I called one of the county commissioners. I said, do you guys close? Because I'm worried about the jury. Right? I'm not worried about myself. And they go, no, we don't ever close because of coldness. Really? Well, what happens if it's minus 50 degrees? I bet you'd close then. But
hopefully we don't have to find that out. He took care of us. The supplies are here.
There they are from the landmark.
He threw me under the bus on social media. I have not taken a bite yet, by the way.
Yes, you have.
Just for the record, that bite was from you.
No.
That is not from me.
That is Steve's bite, not mine.
He is a lawyer, and just because there's a prior track record doesn't mean I'm guilty this time. Just for the record. Good to see you,
Just for the
Dave.
record. All right.
Stay safe out there, everybody. We'll be right back after the break.